On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Heath Oaks is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
Well, if you're listening, it is your lucky day because you get the entire Second Shot crew in the house. Me, Jenny,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Matt, everybody.
Howdy.
Whoa, it's been a minute since we've all been here.
It's true.
Zach, where have you been?
I was on holiday, the 4th. Did you guys do anything
On
cool?
holiday.
On holiday. What are you, Peppa
That's
Pig?
what Peppa
It's
Pig
right.
says.
British people, right? Yeah. No,
We say Peppa when it's British people.
Peppa or British people.
As we're recording this, I was celebrating a happy July 4th. You guys do anything cool for the long weekend?
Pool parties. You know.
I mean, hey,
Pool parties,
are
yeah.
rad, especially when you can host. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
we
that's the
did. We
scene.
hosted ourselves.
yeah.
That's awesome. Good for
We
you.
hosted ourselves for the pool party. It was us and Brighton.
Is
it was
it
great. What else did we do? I'm literally drawing a blank.
is it just me or is like do I get like a broken down chair because I feel like a kid? I'm sitting in it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
trying to
feel like
sit
I'm
up-
sitting down all like
I'm
I'm
trying.
like. I'm
Do I need to get
gangster.
you a pillow in there to sit on
But
or
at
something?
least
A
you got
booster seat?
powdered. Sarah from RNCN came in and powdered everybody. So you
It's
guys are looking
true.
Fabulous.
we got powdered. Yeah.
Very,
How did it feel?
very not shiny in here.
Yeah.
Looking very matte.
Very
better-
matte. Yeah, very matte indeed.
It felt better than I thought it would, for sure. I thought she was going to poke me in the eye or something, and it was my initial reaction to like shy away from that. But as soon as she started doing it, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice.
It is a little soothing. Like there could be like a spa experience of
Yeah.
somebody just like brushing your face very lightly or something.
sure.
It feels like something that someone could offer for a lot of money.
It was not so bad. I didn't mind it at all.
Matt's getting out there a little bit. He's like,
Oh my
I want
God.
Just
somebody
telling you,
like
just
a
telling
little
you.
experience of wiping
Yeah.
his face
I
down.
like being pampered.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Oh my gosh!
What can I
Fun
say?
fact: I did not know that about you.
I do like bath bombs. I will say
Oh,
that.
that's right,
You
the
did know
bath
that.
bomb.
You
Yeah,
did
that's
know
true.
that.
I forgot about the bath bomb.
Brighton loves a good bath bomb.
Oh my
Doesn't
gosh!
she?
Yes, she does.
She'll always
She's
come in hot with the
ridiculous.
bath bombs.
So Heath and Jenny, I'm curious. Did your neighborhood go off on 4th of July? Because I had people shooting fireworks until it was at 2 a.m. People were still shooting fireworks in my neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, people did.
It wasn't that loud though. We couldn't. There wasn't. It was. You could hear a little bit in the distance, some, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like right by our house.
Honestly, I wish they had been closer. I know that they're not legal within Dallas, but like other
Closer.
places where you live, people just do fireworks, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's fine. We can't hear because it's drier and it's hot and it's
Yeah.
a danger and all that kind of stuff.
I don't want to be one of those people that's like I don't get mad at people for shooting fireworks
Oh
off
my gosh,
normal,
Scrooge.
but I don't. But I thought 2 or 2:30 a.m. was a little excessive.
It is.
Don't be a Karen.
frightens my. I'm not trying to be.
Don't be a Karen,
But it
Matt.
frightens my dog, and she slept on top of me that night. Like she was just shivering the entire
Aw.
time that
That's
these
true.
things were going off. I was like, okay, 10 o'clock, whatever. 2 o'clock in the morning, let's calm down.
Sure.
I was the kid that we would buy Roman candles and have Roman candle
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like on purpose to shoot them at each other.
you were the
Or
kid
like
in the
take the
public service
sparklers and wrap them with
announcement.
foil
For sure.
to make a big bomb out of it.
Blow up ant piles. You were-
Absolutely.
Hey, you can't talk about that. This won't go. This won't go on YouTube. They'll hit us with a strike.
Yeah.
We figured out a way to blow stuff up every
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Oh,
shape,
for
and
sure.
form.
Not recommended.
Yeah, not at all.
Right.
Anybody, any kids who are listening.
Right.
Well,
Well, we got our first headline up. I
Let's
think
do
we
it.
got
Yeah.
a pretty interesting one.
Speaking of things that are recommended, have you guys heard about this Great Resignation?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this?
Oh, yeah.
I
wanna
don't.
I want to hear more.
Matt,
You started it
Tell,
when
tell
you
me you don't
left
know
the-
so I can explain it like I'm explaining it to the audience.
Go ahead and explain it to me. Yes.
So the
I
Great
feel like I
Resign-
might know what this is, but let's explain it.
So the Great Resignation is a term that's coined by Anthony Klotz, who is a business management professor over at A&M. The idea is that through the pandemic, since February 2020, a lot of people have been working from home. A lot of people have been staying in. A lot of people have been doing their own thing. And some people have jumped to freelancing, right? Like getting out of the corporate structure entirely. Well, it turns out Between that and gig work as it exists between companies like Uber and whatnot, the idea of being an independent contractor or a freelancer is becoming more and more popular. So popular, in fact, that it's speculated by 2027, somewhere around 50% of the American workforce may be freelancing, which seems extreme, and we may not get there, but we could. Who knows? So Anthony sat down with a couple people from Forbes. There's a wonderful article you can read to talk about this Great Resignation and what it means. The idea that a lot of us may decide in the next few years, hey, you know what? I think I kind of want to blaze my own trail, forge my own path. And that's a lot like entrepreneurship, which is something you all know about. So I want to attack this from two angles. I want to see, as the worker, what does it look like to jump into freelancing? Is that something people should do? Is it crazy? Is it for everybody? And then from the management side, what do you do? I mean, are we not going to have offices anymore? Where are we going?
Companies have got to get a little bit more flexible.
Yeah.
They're going to have to stay flexible. They don't want to, but I'm going to tell you, I mean, I think there could be a surgence of it, but I think there could be a lot coming back. I think a lot of people, when they get out on their own and realize kind of just how lonely it is, you know, how much you can miss that team and being around it. I think that'll be a realization for a lot, but companies can't get, they have to become, look, wages are going to have to raise, and they're going to have to do a lot of things to get competitive, which, wages have been stagnant for so long that it's probably a good thing. It's a little bit of the workers taking a little bit of it back. That'll probably get a little push or two, but they've got to get a little bit more flexible.
Oh, employers, absolutely,
Yeah.
because people have been able to see. Look, I worked from home, and when I worked from home, you said I had to come in for 8 hours, but when I was at home, I got everything done in actually about 5.5 hours, and nobody knew, and I was thrilled with my life. And now you're asking me to come back in, and employers are saying, When I think about a second shot with this one in particular, I think how sad that it took us something like a pandemic to get to know our true selves, because I think some people truly are like those self-starters, those entrepreneurs, those solopreneurs, which is how it really starts out. I mean, most people don't start out entrepreneur, like I'm starting this huge company with lots of employees. Most people start out literally working by themselves at their homes. And I think, oh my goodness, we're struggling as a community or as a society to know how we operate to the point that people in their 40s and 50s are realizing for the very first time that they do better at home or do better on their own or are more self-starters or are less, because there's definitely, we hear half the people are going to be leaving to become freelancers, but also I think there's a good portion of the people who are like, oh wait, I actually like working for somebody. Maybe I like letting someone else shoulder a little bit of the burden.
Sure.
So I want to work for this other company that's going to do the other thing. So I kind of like look at this and think, wow, you guys, we've got to learn our learning style. That's a part of like newer education techniques, not just educating people, but actually teaching them how to learn and teaching them how to absorb information. Like getting to know your learning style and thus your working style and how you perform best, and seeking out, I almost wonder if we should be seeking out careers that way. Yeah. Not just because of your particular interest in the profession, because in a way they all kind of boil down to the same thing sometimes, but to more so look at, okay, what type of situation would I thrive in? Okay, I just talked for way too long. So you guys go.
No,
done. I'm cut off.
No, you were hitting it perfect. I thought you were spot on. I mean, I looked at it as my second shot of making sure you're not being too jumping to quick conclusions. For instance, there's a company the other day that when they announced that they were going to be bringing people back in the office, there was something like 20% of the people resigned as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
Now,
I believe it. Yeah.
Now, like what I want to tell people is kind of calm down a minute, because look, if you just hold on for a second, if there's a lot of people that do that, you're now in a very big driver's seat to get a lot more things that you wanted before. Mm-hmm. So find out, is it that you're just mad over those one things? Why don't you go to them and tell them, here's what you're going to do? Because look, as workers right now, you're getting more in the driver's seat. So find out, are you really want to be a freelancer, got these projects you really have a passion, love for, or are you just mad that now you got to go back in to the office when you were comfortable another way? Because if you're just mad with that, you need to go to them and say, hey, this is what I want. I want these days, and I want this much more pay. I want all these things. Because right now, with the amount of people quitting, if you'd have held off right then, you could have seen what it was. So I would tell you that you need to really take a step back and make sure you're not following a crowd of just resigning to resign type thing. Make sure what you want, ask for it, ask for your money, ask for your time, however it is, before you just rush off. Because look, freelancing and entrepreneurship sounds all great and fun, but look, the fact is the majority of people are much better off of working for somebody in a great environment doing their deal. And because being on your own is not the easiest.
Yeah. So
Be ready.
So I jumped into freelancing, I guess a couple years ago now, and have been working at it for a while. So I feel like I can speak a little bit more on the freelancer side. Somebody told me once really early on, a business coach of mine, they said when you're freelancing or when you're on your own, solopreneur, you got to eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Right. You have to go find every bit of money you're going to spend in a month. Your rent check, your groceries, your gas, your car payment, whatever. You got to go find that. That's hard. That's a job by itself, just figuring that out. And it's easy to jump on the bandwagon when like 5 of your coworkers are like, you know what? This isn't so great. This job isn't so cool. I'm getting out of here. And you go, you know what? You're right. I'm going to do that too. But come Monday morning, those 5 coworkers aren't going to be there to help you find work. You got to find it yourself. And that hustle alone is mentally taxing in a way that I underestimated. I remember talking to you guys about it. Like it is a struggle just to keep up with that mentally and how you compartmentalize your work and your time and separate that from your personal life. It's hard and it's not for everybody, but I think there are tremendous advantages to it if you can escape the hustle and bustle of like the everyday world and kind of get your head above water for a second. You may find that, hold on, this freedom that I have, this ability to kind of blaze my own trail and forge my own path, it's really outstanding. And it's hard to find out where you're at in the meantime, which is why I think freelancing is so popular. People do it on the side. You work a job, you do a little freelancing over here. I mean, you figure it out, right?
I think the biggest thing people are shocked by when they step away from a traditional workspace. You step away from a traditional workspace thinking, I just want to focus on my one thing that I do. I'm good at this. I want to deal with the riffraff. I want to focus. And then you start to work for yourself and you realize, oh, wow. So now I'm the person who has to do the invoices and I have to take out the trash and I have to actually do the sales calls and I have to actually produce the product that we're going to produce. You end up until you become big. You do end up kind of doing all the. Did you experience that?
Oh,
Zach?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I still struggle with now. I mean, fundamentally, what I do, working in content creation, making videos on the internet for clients, making, audiobooks or whatever it is I'm doing. Ultimately, I kind of found that what I want to do is I want to make cool stuff for people. I just want to make cool stuff for people, and I want to put it on the internet and foster communities. And it turns out when you're working for yourself, 90% of that is not making stuff. It's going and finding clients and doing invoices and sales and emails and prospecting, and like that's a struggle. And I didn't expect that, and that's something I've learned, which is good, but it's a lot of work.
So what I'll say is that the Great Resignation is here, and I think there's going to be a lot more. But I think there'll be a lot coming back. But I think there'll be a shift in the workplace. And if there's a time that you've been wanting to do it, it's right now is good because more than likely there's an abundance of jobs currently. So you can try and have a little bit more freedom right now and the ability to chart your path. But prepare for it. Make sure you want to do that. Make sure you've been doing it on the side to test all of the things that go along with it so that you're not just jumping off of that when there's no need for that unless you're completely miserable. But, take a look around. Go for it if you want to. If not, make sure you take your right steps to leading up to it. We'll be back in a minute on the second segment, second shot.
Psst. Hey, it's Zach. I'm in my apartment recording this audio so Matt can sneak it into the show before Jenny and Heath hear it. I know they always do the sponsor reads, but guys, I had to get in here so I could tell you about Energy Ogre. They've been a longtime supporter of the show, and this summer, Christine and I finally signed up to see if they're really as good as Heath and Jenny say, and guys, Energy Ogre is totally legit. It's crazy. Check this out. You sign up for Energy Ogre for just $10 a month. You send them your most recent power bill, and the team at Energy Ogre will run the numbers to find out how you can save more money on your bill by switching to a different provider. Then they'll switch you over to that provider for you, and you'll immediately start saving money that you would have been spending on whatever company was ripping you off in the first place. Christine and I switched over this summer, and I've been kicking myself for not signing up earlier ever since. We saved so much off our power bill that we paid for Energy Ogre's service fee, and now we got a little extra scratch for date night. If you live in Texas, if you're in a house or an apartment, whatever, go to energyogre.com right now and put in the promo code Second Shot, and you can get your first month totally free. Support Energy Ogre, support Second Shot, and support your savings by switching to Energy Ogre.
Back in just a flash. You like that?
Well, I feel like that should have been said before the end of the last segment. Like, we'll be back in just a flash.
That's right.
No, I said back in just a flash, like we're back.
And we are
That's
back
right.
in just
We're
a
We
here
are
now.
back.
We have been back in just a flash.
I just
That's right.
I don't know that it all adds up, babe, but I do like the way that you said it. So You win some, you lose some.
Throw
Me
master.
and all the grammar stuff and all the coming
No,
in.
you're
I like
okay.
that
That
transition,
coming
Heath.
too hot.
Yeah,
You came in too hot.
I thought it was good. Back in a flash. I like it.
Does anybody else's wives or spouses continually break phone, screens?
No, but she needs a new one. Let me tell you.
Not-
We got a long time between phones.
Not phone screens, but phone chargers somehow. Like I will stay with a charging cable for. It could last my entire life if my phone didn't change. Somehow Megan breaks her phone charger. I'm kidding. Like once a month, I'm having to go buy a new one, and she's trying to take mine. I said, "Do not touch mine. Don't touch my chargers. Get your own." And I don't know what you're doing to them to break them all the time, but she does.
It's just,
Jenny can break a phone screen once a week.
it's just.
With
I
the
live an
screen
active
protector on
lifestyle.
Yeah.
No,
and
you
everything.
haven't put the screen protector back on, and I realized that I'm an adult woman who could put on her own screen
we
protector. I
see- You
realized
didn't tell
that,
me. I
but you
didn't
do
know.
it. You're VP screen
But I
protector.
didn't know that you didn't have one on there.
I thought I told you.
Can you
Anyway,
hold this phone screen up so
you
we can
guys,
see it?
Oh,
okay,
the
first of
camera
all,
pick
the
it up?
screen. First of all, here's the screen. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But wait for it, because the real winner here is the phone case.
Ooh, that's
So for people
charming.
watching the video version, you see my charming phone case, which is a really dramatic looking lady with a ton of makeup
I
and
love
a
it.
nose ring that connects to her earring, and eyelashes that look like
Because-
spiders.
The last time our phone screen broke and she took it to the screen repair place, they switched up the cases. And so when she picked
so that's
hers up,
that's not
it's-
your case.
Yeah, it was
No.
somebody else's. It was
Oh,
getting their
okay.
phone.
But it makes me laugh so hard that I leave it on.
I
And
love
it's
it. I
obviously
would leave that. Yeah,
like not very
absolutely.
good at protecting because my screen just broke again. But it makes it like so I can't tell you how many times where I've been like, man, I'm like a little tired or a little bummed, and I turn around and I look at my phone case and I
That's
just
hilarious.
laugh.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Good for you is I've got you an OtterBox on the way,
Oh,
and that's what you're gonna have to have from now
OtterBoxes are
on.
not
Oh,
cute.
it's going to be
That
like
is-
twice as
that's
thick as your phone.
cruel
Yeah,
and
you can throw it at a
unusual
wall and
punishment.
it'll be okay.
We're spending
No.
$300 a month on screen.
OtterBox is not my vibe.
I'm just coming up with businesses here. I like the idea of sending someone a random phone case
Yeah,
with some sort of random picture on the back, like
that
as
would be
a,
great.
like
Yes.
like a blind box. Like you just
know.
open it up and you get a random
Surely.
picture like once
Yeah.
a month or
It's
something
so
like that.
funny.
You're right.
and
That's too good.
I
Somebody's
took
put
it to, we did like this Founders Get Day of Caring for work. The CEO of our whole company, I was interviewing him for it, and I took it out and I had my little phone out and I was just like, I don't even care. I've just got this
No,
real classy
it's-
little phone case.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's personality. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Well,
It
hey,
is.
speaking of the unexpected, the second headline is something I don't think anybody saw coming. Rescue Labrador retriever adopted a bunch of orphan kittens, which sounds crazy. Let me explain this story. Right, a dog and cat living together at an animal shelter in the UK. Called Battersea, a weird name for an animal shelter. Birdie, a 1-year-old Labrador retriever, basically a puppy, has been helping kittens that come into the shelter. Now, Birdie is a big black lab, right? 1 year old, but I mean, it's the standard black Labrador that you think of. And recently, there was a litter of like 7 kittens that was found on the side of the road that somebody brought in. No mom, no dad, no cat parents, right? Just these kittens by itself. They're in the shelter. They're scared. And for some reason, none of the staff could get these kittens to like come around or be cool with anybody. But this Labrador retriever, this black dog out of nowhere, is somehow totally cool with them and hang out with them and helps them like get acclimated. It's like an emotional support dog, but for a totally different species who normally should not get along with them at all. And it all worked out. The kittens got adopted. And ever since, Birdie has just kind of been hanging around the shelter. Hopefully somebody will adopt Birdie soon, of course. But in the meantime, Birdie has been like surprisingly supportive of other animals that come in. It's just weird, right? Like a dog that is totally cool with everybody in an environment where they probably shouldn't be, right? Like at animal shelters and animals coming in from who knows where, rabies, all kinds of things can go on. So I just kind of want to get your hot takes on this. What do you think of, a dog changing spots?
Well, my second shot on this was it's one of those that I love the story because they would have never thought to put that together to try to do the comfort, to try to get the kittens, out of their shell and do anything. But what ended up happening was the last thing ever expected, right?
Yeah.
And I think too many times we stay in our comfort zones with a lot of things. And this is me preaching to myself more so recently than anything, which is that sometimes getting out of the shells or go to those events or go to that thing or that deal that is definitely something you don't think you would like at all. Or it's like watching that movie. You know how many times these movies I'm like, I just push and play because I'm tired of looking and it's not something I thought I would like and I ended up like really loving it, right? Yeah. This is a great story of that reminder that sometimes we think we don't like things because we're ignorant to them, right?
Yeah.
It's not because we truly have an experience that tells us we do or do not. And if we get out of our comfort zone some and go do that, because I'm going to tell you, when time comes, when you're not out putting yourself out there and growing with groups of people and things and meeting new people, when the time comes that maybe you need to have a little circle of people to reach out to for something business-wise or personal-wise, then it's going to be kind of too late. It'll take too long to get them building up. So, I mean, I want to encourage you to try to something out of your comfort zone, whether there's that group of friends from work or those group of people at work that always ask you to go to that trivia night that you never go to.
Sure.
Go to it. You know, see what happens.
Such a good point.
You don't know what you're going to, what
Right.
you may be missing out on a lot of things that'd be great for you. What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah. So I heard about that, and I kind of thought about the way that we can, like that comfort and empathy and love can come in the most unexpected places. And so many people struggle with the families that they're born into. And I think that we yearn, even as adults, for loss of, not an actual loss of a family member, a brother, a sister, an aunt, a cousin that you wanted to have a connection with but didn't. And you kind of hold so tight to that we forget that we can create family out of our friends and true lifelong friendships and relationships. And I think, and just because you have a good, familial bond doesn't mean you can't also have friends that are family too. I mean, you don't have to oh gosh, I have a bad relationship with my dad, so now I'm going to find these other friends. But I think that we forget to really go outside of our own family circles for that true empathy. And I think back on the times when a friendship has taken a shift or a change, and it's always when I open up and say that I need help. And it's always about something that I would typically only ask a family member for, but a family member wasn't there. So you're kind of forced to, I don't want to let this person know that I'm going through this, but I'm going to anyway. And it strengthens that bond forever. Mm-hmm. And it's so neat to have a wide net of that. And I think even, throughout the pandemic, for example, I wasn't as connected to people. So I'm I need to kind of what he's saying, I need to reconnect and build those bonds with family. Yeah, you kind of always just kind of stay connected. It may be tight, it may be not, but you can create true family-like bonds, just like these did, just like these animals did, that were not, they were obviously not from the same family, but they created what is like a mother-child type bond or a close best friend type bond where they're actually comforting one another.
I'll say that the story doesn't surprise me as much because we've worked around shelters for a while. We've fostered, I've lost count now, but probably about 60 animals over the last few years. And I'm always amazed at how adaptable they are. And how you can look at these animals who have come from God knows where or what kind of situation. I mean, some will show up and they've clearly had something happen to them, and within a few days they are hanging around with our dogs or our cats, and then they're off to their new home. And the next thing we know, we're hearing, hey, they're doing great. And I think it's pretty. It could be very inspiring for someone who maybe hasn't seen that before, or maybe hasn't seen that a whole lot, to realize how they can come from a terrible situation, being abandoned on the street or being in an abusive home or something like that. And just a little bit of kindness can turn them into something completely different. And I think they can serve as a reminder to everyone that no one is too broken to be okay, or no one, or, just a little bit of kindness can help that one person that is having a very hard time. And these are animals that I think people would have seen in a shelter and said, oh, they're too scared, or they're too mean, or they're too whatever. But you just take a moment and you get them in the right situation and they're completely different. So I'm always impressed by the adaptability of these animals. And I think by extension, adaptability of people in situations where I think we get in our heads a little bit too much and think our situations, the things that have happened to us, define us a little bit too much than maybe they should. And all we really need is just to be in the right place or around the right kind of people, or just have the right person reach out to us and say, it's going to be okay. And you can completely turn your life around.
Yeah. No one's too broken. That's a really good message. Yeah. No one's too broken.
Yeah, my takeaway was a lot like Matt's, actually. I think what I looked at this and saw was how these two beings, this dog, Birdie, and these 7 kittens, changed each other. right? Like the cats come in and they're nervous and they're scared and they're wary of the world. I think that's in a lot of ways. That's how cats are. It's what they do. Dogs are rambunctious and they're happy to see everybody, right? And they're like totally living in the moment. And this dog meets these cats, and before you know it, the cats are more open to everything, and the dog's a little bit more gentle too, I'd imagine, because labs they got a lot of energy, right? So I think it's I think it's important to like realize when you surround yourself with other people or people who are maybe a little different than you, people who maybe have a different perspective, it rounds you out as a person. And it rounds them out as a person. And like ultimately you both walk away, I think, better for having heard somebody else's opinion, having learned something about somebody. It's good for us. It's like building your immune system, right? Like it's good for you to do that, to take in new experiences, try new things. Go to the company bowling team once, right? Or try something new, ride the roller coaster, rate and review your favorite podcasts on iTunes.
Cheers to that.
Do something new. And before you know it, you might just be a more well-rounded person.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that they hear there's a lot of the push on the diversity, inclusion, and a lot of people don't understand why it's even necessary, right? So they start getting, you pushing me into all these things. I can tell you something. It's more so just you don't know what you don't know until you're around it. You will be amazed at things that you didn't think you would like or a growth that you didn't think was possible, but you've never put yourself in those positions outside your comfort zone to test it and see. Some of them you're going to hate and not like. Guess what? You're going to know that for sure. The others you will like. You're going to learn so much more. I want to push you right now to get out of that comfort zone. You don't know what can happen for you. We'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Okay, quick break to tell you guys about this closet situation. I told you we've been working with Closets by Design to figure out the laundry room area. This was an area that I tried to kind of piece together I tried to find a handyman, handy woman, handy lady, somebody to construct something for us, was not able to find it. I ordered some stuff online. It was a total disaster. We ended up working with Closets by Design, and I cannot tell you how good this laundry room turned out. I'm getting ready to put a video up on my Instagram page, but if you're looking for somebody to help you with a closet for just really any part of your house, your laundry room, your regular closet, someplace in the kitchen or the entryway, hit up Gia at Closets by Design. She maximized this space like you would not believe. I never thought I would be excited about a laundry room, but you can hear the excitement in my voice. It was just such a good experience. They came and did it in one afternoon. It looks like it was built into the house. That was the other thing that kept happening when I tried to order these random things online, is it looked very disjointed. So it looks like it was built with the original design. And now we have spaces for everything. Gia, I am obsessed. Obsessed. So the website is dallas.closetsbydesign.com. You will not regret it.
Okay, this is not a headline for our third, but I just saw the story and it blew my mind. What? Jeff Bezos worth $277 billion now.
He's like the richest man now, right?
Do the math. I can't even comprehend $277 billion. You
need to work on your vision board, babe.
I can barely comprehend $277, period.
Yeah, that $277 billion, good for you. I guess I don't know. Even after, him and his wife split up and she's got a whole lot too. I mean, they're legit.
I
don't know, right?
Yeah, but there was just recently a richest man,
Yeah, it's him. Yeah.
It's him still?
Yeah.
That was Elon Musk.
Oh no, he just surpassed Elon Musk. But I was thinking, wait, is Bill Gates divorced? I'm getting.
They were both. Bill
They
Gates
both
and
are.
Jeff Bezos.
Okay, because we discussed this on the show today, actually, and I was like, oh, but the divorce kind of took down Bill Gates. Not took him down, but I mean, you've got to split things.
They've been giving theirs away so
much.
Yeah,
the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is huge, and the two of them splitting means a whole lot for all of that charity work. So I know that's a
here's the thing: is you got a shot to have $277 billion too if you just go leave a rating and review. If you do that at this moment, and you share this podcast out on social media and stuff, there's probably a chance that you have a possibility to be Jeff Bezos one day.
That would be the good karma.
If you don't rate and review this podcast in the next 10 minutes, bad luck will follow you around for 7 years.
Oh,
share
he went to another level.
7 years.
Matt went to another level.
I'm telling you, you better, and share it. Yeah, share it with all your friends, or else you will be plagued by bad luck. It's hard to imagine having that much money to where like money literally doesn't matter to you anymore,
Well, they're
right?
both-
Like nothing is out of your price range.
It's actually
Nothing.
a pressure. It's actually a burden because you have to figure out what to do with it. How best, I mean, it is a burden. Don't laugh. It's a burden because you have to think about how do I best supply the world with my gifts and talents and which organizations do I contribute?
that's what I
which
would
are the
think.
most worthy? I mean, it's a burden.
They're both so loaded. They're building rocket
I'll
ships.
take the burden.
They're private citizens.
Right.
and
They're just shooting themselves into space
they're
because they don't
building-
have anything else to
They're
do.
building space programs now because they have so much wealth. It's obscene. Is
I will
what it
take
is.
that burden on for everybody in the world.
All right,
Okay. I have a question for everybody.
go for it.
There was a new poll. I love a poll.
All right.
I love a poll. It's usually funded by the people, the thing the poll's about,
I
like
like
the
polls,
Chocolate
yeah.
Foundation.
Polls are good.
Anyway, this one's not. 37% of us right now in 2021 believe in the 5-second rule, meaning that like if you drop something, you have 5 seconds to pick it up and either eat it, put it in your food, whatever. Do you guys do you follow it? And has your mind changed at all after this global pandemic where we talk a lot about germs in general?
No, not at all.
Like, no, you don't believe in it?
Don't
Or
believe
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it changed my mind. If I drop something and I still want it, I'm going to pick it up and eat it probably. I've ate a lot
And
worse.
does the length of time determine it? Like,
No, I don't care.
So it's until you don't believe in the 5-second rule.
Well, yeah, I guess not. I'm just like, if I drop something, I'm going to pick it up. I'm like, I don't count my head if it's been on there longer. I wonder, was 5-second rule? I thought it was just a gimmick, but was that at one point
So
some kind of scientific
There
thing
is
that
some
was
science
created?
behind
So
it.
Mythbusters covered 5-second rule at one point.
Ah.
They were dropping random stuff on the ground or in like a puddle and seeing like what molecules of whatever retained on the food after 5 seconds. And they said ultimately there's not that much. If I remember correctly, now, this is reality television. This is Discovery Channel. Like, I'm not going to say this is hard science, but they did say ultimately, like, it's probably not going to kill you if you're eating stuff 5 seconds on the ground. So I think it's manageable. It really just depends on the person.
I think to me it depends on the whatever it is I dropped, right?
And what you drop it into.
consistency
How
of
bad
the
do I
thing.
want it?
Of course.
Yeah,
right.
like-
It's not
For me-
about the bacteria.
Right.
Yeah. And like, you know, if it's something hard or if it's something like that's not, I don't know. I imagine that like if I dropped a piece of buttered toast, butter side down on the ground,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to pick that up because like something stuck to that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I dropped a cracker, I might I would take that, right?
You know,
If it-
or
yeah.
if I buy the Reese's peanut butter cups and like I open the package and I eat one and I drop the other one, and you only have two, I'm picking it up.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
know what I
that's
mean?
a-
I'm not
yeah.
leaving that.
Why
back.
you can just
Yeah.
brush that off? Yeah,
I'll
that's
die for
fine.
a Reese's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't depend on the dirt on the floor. It depends on like how valuable or delicious the thing is.
That's
that
absolutely
fell.
what.
Yeah.
To me, how bad do I want whatever that was?
I think that's true.
I think, I mean, I'm sure this is the same living in a house with kids, but living in a house with dogs, there is nothing in my house that doesn't have dog hair on it. Literally nothing in my house that doesn't,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
including
that
the
would drive me
food,
crazy.
including the food. And like, I will see a piece of a dog hair in my food and I'm like, oh, that's kind of gross. And then I think, how much dog hair have I just accidentally eaten?
Oh,
You know,
no.
like it's
Oh my
ultimately
gosh,
it doesn't
another
matter.
level.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter, right?
Matt's
Like,
on fire
Oh my
today.
gosh, Matt is on fire today. I don't know if we can take this many weeks off because he just brings too much into one episode. Oh man,
I'm not afraid of anything anymore.
You definitely
That's
are
right.
one that would not eat it.
Depend on if anybody was watching.
So if you dropped it at home,
Oh, it's
you'd
social
probably
pressure.
just snap it up
No,
real fast.
I mean, like, I guess it would just, I think that the
If
buttered
in the public
toast,
bathroom, there's nothing. If I in the public bathroom, I drop
Oh.
something, I don't want it that bad.
No,
No.
Right.
There's
it's
nothing I
done.
want bad enough to
Yeah.
pick
Yeah.
it up off the ground. in a
setting
public restroom.
matters.
you
of
know,
course.
that is the good part about working at home is like, you don't have to share just like facilities and like, and does every workplace just have an absolutely repulsive fridge? Is
Yes.
that just like,
It's typical.
is that just the key to being in a workplace? Is that the fridge 1,000,000% will be disgusting?
Yeah.
Like, how is it that we are tidy, clean? Like we're full grown human beings at home, and we go to work, and everyone becomes like an 8-year-old child.
Everyone thinks it's somebody else's job,
So
right?
here's
Like
what-
that's the thing, isn't it?
That would be a good one. So go to the Second Shot Facebook group or secondshotcast@gmail.com. Tell us what, you go to the Facebook group, take a picture of your work fridge
Yes.
and post it after this episode so we can see whose work fridges are clean and whose are not, and any stories you got. Do you battle over fridges at work?
Oh,
I
my
would
gosh.
love to hear these. Go to the Second Shot Facebook group, join it, then leave us a picture and maybe a story or two about your
don't-
work fridge.
I don't want to tell stories out of school here. I don't know who I'm tattling on, so I'm just going to tell this story anyway. We have a what is supposed to be an ice maker in there. It's like one of those standalone kind of like freezers that makes ice. It's not been hooked up. It's never been hooked up. It's just been sitting in there. It's just like an empty cooler. And then last week somebody found a plate of food in there. Again, this thing is not cold. It is just a box, basically. Someone found a plate of food in there that had to have been in there for, I don't know, 3 weeks. Like it was from a long time ago. And I just thought, who in the world just came by, stuck their food in here, closed the lid, and then walked off and left it there? And it was covered in mold and stuff like. I mean, we threw it away, but my goodness, people like, I don't know, people turn into animals sometimes around when they're not at home. I guess.
I'm gonna fire up that ice maker. Yeah.
Also, go to the Second Shot Facebook group and tell us if you are a 5-second rule, yay, nay, or kind of how that rocks and goes. And then make sure you leave us ratings and reviews. Where can they find you at?
JennyAndChando.com, Facebook.com/groups/Second Shot, and on our Instagram page, I'm going to post a pic of the guys getting their makeup done today. Instagram.com/Second Shot Podcast. Thanks, Sarah.
Facebook.com/group/Second Shot. Come join. Tell us what you think about this 5-second rule. You got a fridge at work. And you can find me on Twitter at AppleZacintosh. That's me. You can just find me over there.
You can find me, Matt Stoker1, on Instagram. That's the numeral 1. Find me there. I post stuff about what I've got going on, post a lot of dog pictures. And as always, go out there. If you're a true crime fan, go out there and find True Crime Reporter on Apple Podcasts, Google, anywhere you can go find it. It's a great show. Again, Webby Award-winning Best New True Crime Podcast. We beat out the BBC. There's a reason for that. It's because I worked on it. So go and check it out. It's great. I'm really proud of it, and I think you'll like it.
You can find me at Ignorance on Fire on Instagram is the easiest. Heath Oaks on Facebook. And secondshotcast@gmail.com. Leave us a rating review, and you will have all kinds of great luck, maybe 277 billion. Love you. See you next time. Bye.